What's going on, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management, back here to bring you guys another video today. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at the stocks to trade for this upcoming week. Basically, my watch list, I'd say. As you guys know, my full watch list will be available in the Discord. And this upcoming week is a huge week for earnings. A lot of the big boys, a lot of the big monopolies, the big companies are reporting this upcoming week. And as I said in my last video, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are really the stocks I'm watching for those earnings plays. Now, in addition to all of those big earnings plays, there's going to be FOMC, where we find out how much the interest rates are going to be raised by. Last time it was raised by 0.75%. Some people are saying it might be raised by up to 1%, or it might get brought down to 0.5%. We shall see. My expectation is either way, whatever happens, my overall expectation is the market is going to drop during that Tuesday, Wednesday period. Of course, who knows what's going to happen, but I just wanted to put out my opinion there. Now, you guys can see I'm just kind of scrolling on Yahoo Finance, and this is something I do every single weekend and also during something a week. So it's also something you guys can do, obviously. But I'm not going to look at any articles today. I'm going to jump straight into the charts. So first of all, here you see I have the S&P 500 index, which is ticker symbol SPX. So we're just under 4K right now. First thing I want to do, kind of zoom out, because people might see the past week and say, yeah, we rallied, we're on the way up, this and that. Potentially, but look at the 2022 overall. We've dropped from around highs of 4.8K all the way to 3.9K. And part of last month, we were at 3.6K. So what I'm seeing here is a trend towards the 100-day moving average right here, which is around 4.1K, just under 4.1K. And my general thought right now is we will slowly uptrend towards it. Of course, there might be bumps along the way, little pullbacks, but I'm generally thinking we are starting to move in that direction. It doesn't mean to say that the bull run is on and the bear market is completely over. That's not the case. I'm just saying short-term expectation, I could see a push up towards this moving average. Who knows, August, September, we might see a downtrend again back to the daily or weekly support zones. But like I said, my short-term expectation, next couple weeks, I'd say, is a trend towards the 4.1K mark. Now we're going to jump straight into these earnings plays. I'm going to start off with Boeing, which I briefly addressed yesterday. Boeing report earnings this week. And when you go into TradingView, you can see these things. Here you go. Here's the purple E, 27th of July. You guys know earnings are coming up. So you have that warning in advance in case you're holding plays overnight or any of that kind of stuff. I would love to see Boeing start uptrending, because obviously it has already started uptrending, but I'd love to see a high push towards, maybe the 170 range. So I'm looking at a $7 to $10 gain to this support zone for Boeing. You can see last time they had earnings, it dropped down. And in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised to see that this happened this time. You guys may remember last time American Airlines reported earnings, which was just a few days ago. They had a similar move with the drop off. Look at that right now. See the little drop just before earnings and then after earnings as well. So it was from $16, dropped about 3 or 4% down to where it is now, around $13. My expectation for Boeing doesn't matter, because a lot of these airlines are still in a sticky situation during this pandemic. I've been traveling recently and I've seen so many overbooked flights. I've seen so many delays, cancelled flights. It's a very treacherous situation. I've received emails from CEOs saying they apologize, they're going to try and do this and that to make the situations better. It's a difficult time for the airlines right now, as it has been throughout the whole pandemic. So in all honesty, Boeing could just drop $5, $10 as well, just as easily as it could uptrend. My real expectation is a push upwards in anticipation of earnings, and then once earnings is announced, probably go in the same way as American Airlines. But as we always do, we're going to trade exactly what the market gives us. If it starts downtrending after earnings, we'll play the downtrend. If it starts uptrending in anticipation of earnings, we will trade the uptrend. Now, I'm going to look at Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. So Microsoft are announcing earnings Tuesday. Here you go again, the purple E. You guys know the drill. Also, by the way, you can look at news in the sideline here and any expectations for earnings and that kind of stuff. So I have my levels for Microsoft, and they've been pretty on point. I drew these about 3 months ago, and as you can see, there's a very heavy resistance around 268 on the daily chart. So before earnings, once again, you can look at past earnings for a little bit of an indication of what happens. Last earnings, it sold off in anticipation of earnings, then jumped up overnight. This time, it may well do that, but I think we're still going to get a push up in anticipation of earnings, and then maybe the downtrend will come after. Like I said, a heavy resistance here at 268, so I probably wouldn't trade this necessarily. If it does break 268 level, especially after earnings, I would probably try and trade the uptrend, if it does happen to uptrend, to where the moving average is and also the strong level of support is, that green line. On the other hand, we've just broken above the moving averages and held above the moving averages. Even though it dropped 1.69% yesterday, it still closed above the moving average, which is actually a very good sign. So here's the daily support zone, here's the weekly support zone. I don't see Microsoft dropping down to the weekly support zone. It very well may drop to the daily support zone around 254. And you guys know the deal. We're going to trade whatever it gives us. Now for Wednesday's earnings, Meta. If you don't know, Meta is basically Facebook, just renamed. And this is always a tricky one. So this past week, if you don't know, Snapchat, Twitter, and Tesla announced earnings. Snapchat dropped heavily, dropped like 39%, and that's why Facebook dropped over 7% yesterday. Now that it's gapped down, you might think the damage is done. That is not necessarily the case. This is the daily chart. You see the gap down. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a crazy gap down, but you see the huge drop overnight. If you check different time frames for Facebook, on the 4-hour chart, we had a nice uptrend for about a week straight, and then a huge red candle just started to cause this downtrend. So that's why I'm fully expecting Facebook to continue downtrending. I mean, you have to be very careful because it's earnings season for these big companies, and the reason I'm saying I expect a downtrend is Facebook usually have similar results, numbers, expectations to what Snapchat do. So what I'm saying here is Snapchat is not as big as Facebook, of course not. But a lot of time with these social media stocks, Twitter and Pinterest as well, you'll see when one rises, the others rise. When one falls, the others seem to fall. So that could be the issue here with Facebook. Now, the only one thing I wanted to point out was last time Facebook announced earnings, you can see that it jumped up. And this is different to Snapchat because last earnings, Snapchat dropped down when it was announced in April. Again, it was like a 35% drop. In April, Facebook jumped up. So don't count Facebook out because it could very well just jump up as well. So moving on to Thursday, well, I already mentioned Boeing. There are also Roku announcing earnings, ticker symbol ROKU. I love shorting Roku. Also dropped 9% yesterday after hitting this daily resistance zone. I love shorting Roku, and it just closed below the moving averages, both moving averages here. It looks like they're about to cross over in a downtrend as well. And if you see the RSI here, it's also just crossing over the downtrend. So with 3 days till it reports, we could very well trade the puts on this, which is what I'm looking to do. Trade it down to around $81, this daily support zone. I would love to get on the Roku puts, but at the same time, I'm going to beware. If it does start pushing up, I'll wait for a good entry on this, around this $97 level, which is where the daily resistance is. Probably look at the 15-minute chart for a good entry. Let's say it does push up anywhere here or up here before it starts downtrending. That could be a great entry for puts. Here, there's a lot of crossover action moving. But as you can see, the downtrend was very strong yesterday. And even though it pushed up towards the end of the day, it was down at 10% at one point before it recovered. That could have just been a false indication of what's to come. Like I said, in the few days leading up to earnings on Thursday, we could see, and hopefully do see, a drop with Roku to around $80. So Roku puts are high on the watch list. Thursday, we also have Apple, Amazon, and Intel. I'm not going to break all of them down, but let's pick out, we'll go with Amazon. It's a huge week for earnings. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be my first time trading a full week in the month of July. So Amazon is at $122. We reached $125, which was my price target for middle of July. So that was great to see. You guys know the analysis is on point. Amazon is slightly below the moving average on the 1 hour chart, kind of falling into a 1 hour support zone. Checking the 4 hour chart, hit a 4 hour resistance zone, and it's just started downtrending below the 9-day moving average. Looking at the daily chart, I think Amazon was due a little bit of a pullback after crazy rallies. Daily chart, it started to uptrend towards the $127 level. With earnings coming out, which way could this go? Either way, again, last earnings sold off like crazy. Earnings before that gapped up like crazy. It's anybody's guess, anybody's game. That's what happens with earnings. So again, earnings is Thursday. So this is one you're just going to watch. I'm just going to have to watch and see how it plays out. I think it's going to continue pushing, but like I said, it is due a pullback. 3 crazy strong days. Jumped about $7, $8 during those 3 days and started pulling back Friday. So it's just another one to watch. Just keep that on your radar. I'm going to look at Intel. I'm not going to look at Apple. I know Bob in the group is happy that I'm not looking at Apple. He hates trading that stock. I know that. But Intel, we dropped 3% yesterday after a nice rally, and we're just sitting just above the moving average. Last earnings, dropped down. Earnings before that, dropped down as well. This earnings, I wouldn't be surprised to see it drop down. I mean, let's see what they're saying. Estimate 0.7. You see, this is the good thing about trading. You can kind of just read into things a little bit, find out where they're sitting. They've struggled over the past 6-7 years when it comes to net income. Profit wise, they've still done okay. I mean, in your own time, you can look at the balance sheet, the cash flow, and the income statement, which is the important financials of any company. But yeah, Intel are reporting earnings. I don't know if I'm going to trade Intel. If I do, it's probably going to be after the earnings, maybe as a continuation. But I'll be honest, I'm not looking to trade it in anticipation of earnings. I might check out Southwest as well, ticker symbol LUV. That's another stock reporting on Thursday. That's another airline reporting. At some point this week, I believe there's going to be a nice opportunity on Southwest puts. Don't know if anyone flies Southwest, but like I said, I'm expecting some Southwest puts. Now let me just have a look at Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. I was able to catch decent gains on Tesla last week, and now I'm trying to see it push up to, well, past the 816 zone where it currently sits, towards around 830s. It's just broken above my resistance zone around 824, but then it closed below it again. I'm trying to see it push back up to the 830s, as I said. If I can catch, if we can catch a crazy Tesla move, just like this, that day when it had a 35, 30, in fact, even more, around a 40-point gain in a day, you could be onto something big. I saw a couple people catching crazy 150% returns on this. I would love to catch one of these days. And then I do want to look at the energy sector. Please also remember TDOC and QCOM report on Wednesday as well. Those could get very spicy, I tell you that. With oil prices dropping, this should be getting ready to just start downtrending. This is Occidental Petroleum Corporation, ticker symbol OXY. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour wicks are pretty erratic on this, so that's a good sign for you day traders if you can time it properly. Look at that. That would have been a great day for some puts, great day for some calls there, great day for some puts again. Last 2 days of this past trading week. Then 1-hour chart shows us we could be getting ready to downtrend to around $60. Then after that, possibly the 59.50 range. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart. Just broken below, well, just jumped down and now below the moving average. We've seen the crossover on the RSI during the middle of this last trading week. Yeah, I would be looking at puts here. And with these petroleum companies, kind of dropping off in the last couple weeks, it is a good sign that maybe interest rates don't get raised by more than 0.75%. So just so you guys know that, by the way, which means the market might not drop that far. So a lot of these things are linked. So like I said, TDOC and QCOM report this week. I know I've analyzed a lot of stocks today. I like this chart here. I'm looking at a push towards $45 and eventually maybe around $49, but that's probably more towards the very end of this month. So I guess, well, beginning of August. I'm just saying not this week, but probably the week after. And I'll just quickly go over QCOM. As always, beware of how they performed in last earnings, because TDOC tanked heavily last earnings. I just want to put that out there. If you guys didn't see the chart, if you go back, you'll see it. QCOM did the opposite, jumped heavily last earnings. It's been on an uptrend and it's been breaking out, which is great to see. It could be time for a pullback before Wednesday. But then if you look at the 4-hour chart, you see it's nicely moving. So either way, you just got to kind of play whatever the markets are giving you in the anticipation of earnings. And then after earnings, I'll definitely look at playing the continuations. That is one thing to highlight. Definitely look at playing the continuations, just as a lot of people did with Snap to get those 1,500%, 1,200%, whatever, 1,000% returns. There's a drop, and then the continuations. That's one thing I like to do with earnings. That's one thing that helped me come up when I first started making profits when I came to trading. So either way, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure you guys come and check out the Discord as well, the Royal Trading Academy. You guys know that's where I have the full available watch list. That's where we guys live trade. That's where we do breakdowns. We talk about stocks. We talk about everything in their Discord as well. Also, make sure you guys check out the Stock Option Starter Pack. That is a 10-video guide you have access to for life. A lot of things in regards to options are in that option pack. A lot of people have got it and it's helped a lot of people. So make sure you guys check that out. And lastly but not least, check out all my socials at The Wealth Prince on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The Money Management on YouTube, which reminds me, you guys need to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the red button below and join the channel. It doesn't cost you guys anything. And then lastly but not least, make sure to like, give that thumbs up, because it does help the videos. It helps my channel in a great way. Comment if you're new, if you've been around here, either way, just comment. And then very last, share these videos, get them out to more people, because it helps a lot of people in a great way. That's enough from me, guys. I've done a lot of talking, a lot of analysis today. I see the video is almost 20 minutes long. So I've got money to making, you got money to making. See you guys next time on another video. Peace.